What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tony from Black Thought. First and foremost, I want to thank y'all for all the follows, likes, everything that you do. Really appreciate it. Let's get straight into today's topic, Kevin Strickland. Let's go. Let's talk about Kevin Strickland, this man right here. You see, first and foremost, actually, before I begin, can't forget, shout out to Ron Deck and Juan McKelvey for commenting on my last video. For me to shout you out, all you gotta do is comment on the video, I'll respond and shout you out in my next video. But anyways, back like I said, Kevin Strickland, this man right here. So what ended up happening was about 40 years ago, Kevin Strickland was arrested at age 18. What was he arrested for? Triple homicide. Yeah, not something you want on your record. But not only that, as it turns out, he was never the offender. In fact, it has come out recently. Well, I say recently for two reasons. Number one, recently because of the people who have recently spoken up about it. And two, recently because of the prosecutor who has spoken up about it. But really, it's been said on the streets that my boy Kevin Strickland was innocent since day one. They all knew that he was not the person who did what the police pinned against him. And part of the reason that he ended up in jail is because a key witness, which witnesses are not really a key thing in any major courts. In fact, they honestly try to shy away from using witnesses. But at the time, 40 years ago, things weren't that developed, I guess. But anyways, so the witness pinned Kevin Strickland, who I will for the rest of the video refer to as Nordy, which was his nickname. So Kevin Strickland, Nordy, he was said to be at the crime scene by Cynthia Douglas. And because of that eyewitness statement, that key eyewitness statement, it basically cost him his life. He was given a guilty verdict and sentenced to life. In fact, he's been in jail for 40 years so far, more than 2/3 of his life. Keep in mind, he first got arrested when he was 18 years old. He's 62 right now. In fact, this year he turned 62 about a few weeks ago. And now that people are starting to look at his case again, the prosecutor for the case has literally reopened the entire thing, went through everything, and found that no evidence even supported that he was remotely around the area at the time. In fact, she quite literally went on multiple news channels, stations, and all kinds of things to speak about how he was never there and should never have even been picked up. Funny thing is, though, she also spoke about visiting the victims of the crime, visiting the families of the 3 people who were murdered, visiting the families of basically everyone except for Kevin Strickland's family, which I found a little weird. I couldn't see anything from her based on her interviews when she spoke about him, about her visiting his family. I could be wrong there, but nonetheless, her attorney's office is the one, her prosecutor's office is the one that put him in there, so I just kind of thought maybe. Nonetheless, she is now currently fighting to get him out, which is fantastic, even though she's the one who put him in the first place, but it's still fantastic. Here's also the thing. You see, the governor of Missouri, which is where this happened, has quite literally said he has no plans to really get him out, to give him a pardon. He has said that Kevin Strickland's pardon, even though he's 100% innocent and has a life sentence on him right now, is not a priority for him. And you may find this weird, that, justice when it comes to black folk is not on the priority of a governor, especially of a southern state like Missouri. But, I'm sorry, I said Missouri. I mean, I meant Missouri. But nonetheless, it kind of boggles my mind a little bit, being that the quite literal head of the Committee for Prisons, which is a Republican, has quite literally petitioned the governor to give Kevin Strickland a pardon, along with 12 other Republican and Democratic colleagues in the state house. Yet, he decided not to. And still to this day decides not to. And every day that Kevin Strickland is in jail is just yet another injustice. And it also has moved now. People are starting to figure out how can they get this done without the governor. And come August, there will be a new law signed into law, a new bill signed into law that will allow the DA, the district attorney, to get Kevin Strickland out and get his case exonerated by a judge. But you know, like I said, when it all comes down to it, he's been in jail for 40 years. In fact, it wasn't just yesterday that the eyewitness recanted her statement. She recanted long ago, and has ever since making that statement said that Kevin Strickland, Norty, was not involved. Not only that, but the two other people that were guilty and that were at the scene of the crime has also come out and said that no, Kevin Strickland wasn't even with us. Not to mention the lack of evidence and everything else that goes along with it. But one tends to remember, when you're a black man in America, especially in the court systems, you shouldn't really, I guess, expect justice unless it's, unless there's overwhelming evidence for you to get your justice. It's a sad reality, but that's what it is. Kevin Strickland, I hope he gets out. I wanted to make sure everyone knew his case because he was a black man wrongly convicted. Well, I say wrongly convicted, but the system worked right. It worked just like it's supposed to, just like it always has. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you comment, I'll shout you on the next video, and I'll respond to it as well. Peace.